Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Connor here in full swing. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. We've gone a bit earlier than before, just because I've got my tea. My tea needs to get eaten very, very soon. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Hope you're doing fantastically well. Stick around to the end of this episode because we will be announcing the competition winner. And I'll need email. I'll need to send you an email about like this, that, and the other, and get your size and all that exciting stuff. So thank you to absolutely everyone who's entered. I've had over 650 emails, which has been mental. So thank you so much. All of your support is always appreciated so much as well. Leeds United look very close on signing Rodrigo from Valencia, which, wow, what an incredible signing. That would be what an unbelievable signing that would be. I've done a player profile on him the other day. I've spoken to a journalist about him the other day. I've done rumour mill this morning, all on Rodrigo. So please, if you will, check all that stuff out. If you want to know a little bit more about Rodrigo, we've got content for you on the In Full Swing with Conor McGilligan YouTube channel. So please go check that out ASAP. We've also had some incredible news today. Jack Grealish is not in the England side, but Kalvin is. Now, the thing is, I want to touch on this. Listen, I think Grealish is a good player. I really do. But the comparatives between him and Kalvin make no sense. They make no sense. They're two completely different types of players. Kalvin's a defensive mid who's been on the fringes of the England squad for a long time now. He's going to be competing against Winks. He's going to be competing against Dyer, who I think he is 10 times better than, 20 times better than. Whereas Grealish is a centre attacking midfielder, so we'll be potentially competing with, the players further up the field, i.e. your Maddisons, Grealish. That's been the talk all year, hasn't it? Grealish or Maddison. Phillips is nothing to do with the conversation. And I would agree with Dean there where he says Grealish should have been picked. I do agree with you, mate. I think Grealish should have been picked, but at the end of the day, he hasn't. I'm sure he'll get his chance again, but this is a massive day for Kalvin Phillips. A really good day for Leeds United. I think a really good day, just in terms of Kalvin, what he's been through, everything that he's seen with Leeds. And for me, it's just a brilliant addition to the England side. And, we all want to see England do well as well. So it's going to be a massive coup. So in this as well, guys, what I will be doing beforehand is, as I've said, I've already done the Rodrigo stuff. So if you want to check all that stuff out, please go check it out. If Leeds do sign, I have an on-the-spot video coming out. So stay tuned for that one as well. This is all about Kalvin Phillips and his rise to the top of the Leeds United ranks. And as always, we are sponsored by Ship Bikes USA. So guys, if you want your tailored, your customized, your detailed motorcycles to everyone's individual need, please go check Bernie and the guys out over there at Ship Bikes. Now, this is Kalvin's first ever appearance. Now, Sunderland won, Leeds United 0. This was when Neil Redfern handed first starts to Brian Montenegro, a Paraguayan striker who joined on loan Nacional in the summer, and Dario Del Fabro. Now, listen, this is the era that Kalvin first came through in number 40, if you remember his kit number. And serious promise. But once again, so many different managers, Redfern, Monk, Christiansen, obviously Bielsa. He's had so many at such a young age. He's only 24. So Kalvin has done so impressively well to be able to deal with all of those sort of circumstances, all those different manager preferentials, differentials. And I really rate Kalvin for how he's developed as a player. And this is his sort of first match. If you look at this here, look at the Sunderland side. This is a Sunderland side who are in the Premier League. Teams that are players like Costel Pantilimon, Quates, John O'Shea, Van Arnholt, Liam Bridcut, Jack Rodwell, Stephen Fletcher. And look at their number 40 at the bottom, which is Mr. Kalvin Phillips, number 40. And this was his first league debut. As you can see, look at the talent around him there. You got Luke Murphy and Scott Wootton. But this is the team that he came into. This is the team that he came into at Leeds United. It wasn't a good team, wasn't a talented team. And Kalvin was one of the rising stars. He was one of the last academy graduates of the Taylor, of the Mowats, of the Byrams to get into the first team. And wow, has he probably, well, he has. He's been the best by a country mile. And I would never have been able to predict that right at the start of the season. I think Kalvin has proved a lot of people wrong. Jakanji saying that Rodrigo is done. As I say, mate, we will definitely focus on that just a little bit at the end, but I want to focus on Kalvin on this one, buddy. Fifth picture, this is what I've titled Youth. This is when Kalvin was coming through with Charlie, and this is his first goal against Cardiff, which is a brilliant, brilliant picture. Look at that. We lost the game 2-1, but look how elated he is, scoring for his boyhood club. Charlie, who I've known very well. Charlie, I went to school with him. Is a massive Leeds fan as well. And obviously Alex Mowatt, apparently there's rumours that Mowatt, I know he's a Donny lad, but he is a Leeds lad as well. And he broke through the scene. That first game that he had at Wolves, where he played really well in his debut away at Wolves. We lost 4-3 at Molineux. The game at Ellen Road, we lost 2-1 to Cardiff. These are the times that we had back then. But Kalvin scored his goal and he's off the mark straight away. Here he is. Look at him there, looking so young. But this is his next season. And things are turning round for him a little bit here. He's trying to solidify himself in that first team. It's not really happening right now. He's coming up against the obstacles that are Uwe Rosler and, of course, Steve Evans, who Kalvin has come out himself and said after 3 starts under Uwe Rosler in the August of 15-16, Evans came in and never once started the Whatley man during the 38 games he managed. Phillips admits that stung after his promises had been made by the former Rotherham chief, the Rotherham United chief. Now, apparently, Rosler, he had no games under Rosler as well, sort of 3 or 4 appearances, and Evans would just continuously promise him game time. Phillips was never able to get that game time, which is so sad. As a youngster, you want progression, and Steve Evans clearly didn't see enough in him. Wanted more experienced pros, and it's only when we got to the Christiansen, the Gary Monk, the Bielsa that really saw that youth reinvigorated. We saw that trust put in Kalvin Phillips. He is that man to take us forward. He is our next big player. He is our next Alan Smith, that man of the city. And anyway, Gary Monk came in. And this is what I find really interesting. A lot of people always talk about Gary Monk, and we always have the haters with Gary Monk and stuff like this. With regards to Phillips and with regards to making us a solidified unit, Gary Monk did that extremely well. Obviously we talked about Ayling yesterday, but that back four, Rob Green, was excellent. A lot of players did prosper, and Kalvin Phillips was absolutely no different. There was a real change in Kalvin Phillips under Monk. As he says here, Phillips says he has a lot of respect for his former manager, who he credits with setting the foundations on which Marcelo Bielsa has built the current promotion-chasing side. Yeah, definitely, he responded when he asked if he expects a hard-working performance from Sheffield Wednesday. This is when we were playing Wednesday. And that's what he did with us. He did very well with us. He kind of put us on the map and built the foundations. He was the first manager to give me over 20 games. He had faith in me. Obviously, I respected that. And, Kalvin will remember that for the rest of his career. The fact that Gary Monk was really the first manager who gave him that go. He gave him that expectation of wearing that white shirt and leading your boyhood team out into the division, which was just absolutely rough, physical, anything you can name the Championship as. Quality-wise, it's going up year on year. And Kalvin led his team, his boyhood team, for many years now. And he's finally reaping the rewards. And that, there was a lot to do with Gary Monk there. That solidified unit. So many characters in that unit as well. Cal Bartley, Luke Ayling, Rob Green, Pontus Janssen, Berardi, obviously. Vieira was in there at that point. Chris Wood. So Liam Bridcut. There was a lot of players there with experience who were able to coax Kalvin through. And Monk gave him a real helping hand. Now, This is obviously something that we touched on as well. In the 2016-17 season, in June 2016, only days after the appointment of new head coach Gary Monk, highly rated Phillips was offered a new 3-year contract at Leeds. And apparently, from what I've heard from speaking to people, that was something that Monk wanted when he was coming into Leeds. He saw the potential with Kalvin Phillips, and he wanted him to have that contract straight away. So to be fair to Gary Monk, fair play. On 23rd of June, Phillips signed the new 3-year contract extension to stay at the club until the summer of 2019. So as you can tell straight away there was so many people who had so much belief in Kalvin Phillips, who actually had managerial pedigree. Obviously Christiansen really loved him. Monk really loved him. Bielsa, Steve Evans. I mean, you probably could have the argument that Phillips was a little bit young, and you could have that same argument as well, Uwe Rosler. But, to promise a youngster games and not giving them games. And you could see even with those quotes there that Phillips wasn't happy with him, probably still isn't happy with him. But now it doesn't really matter, because look at where Kalvin is. Also, this was the sort of breakthrough of Kalvin Phillips. Now, Bridcut was a big player for Leeds in the Gary Monk era. Now, if you remember that central defensive midfield role, we couldn't ever get really properly right. Ewan O'Kane went there. Sometimes you get Ronnie Vieira there. But with the emergence of Liam Bridcut, it meant that Leeds could push on as a 2 in midfield, just ahead of him. Now, there was a lot of players who felt the advantage of this, one being Ronaldo Vieira. But with regards to Liam Bridcut, as soon as he left that position, you sort of saw Kalvin come in and sometimes drop in, but sometimes getting forward as well. So we saw a little bit of variation in his play. And Liam Bridcut really paved the way for Kalvin Phillips to come into that starting lineup. And this bred the emergence once again of this partnership. And this still is the partnership that I will turn round and say, you know, I still am a little bit upset that this isn't Leeds' partnership. Obviously, we've got Clicky in there now. And, you know, Leeds United are in the Premier League. But I would love to see Ronaldo Vieira back at Leeds in whatever capacity, such a physical athlete. And we all thought when Bielsa first came in, we thought that he was going to be the main man. I genuinely thought he was. I thought Ronaldo Vieira was going to be the man that he made into such an incredible player. Apparently, he was just balancing the books, the fact that Leeds had to get rid of him to Sampdoria for 7 million, rising to 10. But apparently, according to a lot of articles, Bielsa didn't want to see him leave. And what a player, what a prodigy Bielsa could have worked on with Vieira. And I think he genuinely would have been at the same trajectory right now as Kalvin Phillips is. I really rated Vieira. And that sort of when Bridcut left or he was injured, that meant that, you know, Vieira and Phillips could come through together. And we saw a real understanding in their play. You saw that specifically for me when Leeds won with grit and determination down at Norwich, coming back and getting to that 6th spot just before the new year under Gary Monk. Next season onwards, that season sort of petered out and Kalvin broke his duck straight away with a wonderful goal against Nottingham Forest, which was an absolute peach of a free kick. Once again, we lost 3. We lost 3-1, but Kalvin was brilliant that day. I was at Forest that day and Kalvin was the standout. You know, he was coming into his own a little bit. The hair was growing. He was getting a bit more swagger about him. And you could tell he was really enjoying his football. Obviously, more goals came as well, as you can see here against Bolton. I believe this was on the first day of the season in the black kit when we had Chris Wood still was playing for the club. But Kalvin came in, and that season under TC straight away, he scored about 5 goals. I think it was in about 7 appearances. He was scoring for fun, 1 against Sheffield United, 2 against Bolton, and he really was coming into his own. He was showing himself as an offensive threat. A little bit more than a defensive sort of unit, really. He wasn't really part of that unit. He'd be pushed up under TC, and you saw a different change in his game. You know, you really saw the ability that he could get forward, and TC would always come out and say that he wanted Kalvin to get forward more, explore the forward avenues and get more goals. But yeah, once again, Ronnie Vieira was obviously the big part of Kalvin's career early on. I feel like they had a massive relationship, but Ronnie Vieira was then sold on. And that was the point when Bielsa came in that you thought, what? Like, why has Vieira been sold on? It was a completely different way of looking. It was bizarre. Like, Vieira had left. Bielsa had obviously, we'd had to see him go. I think it was for financial fair play reasons, just to balance the books, as I've said. But Vieira had to go, and that was really disappointing. And Phillips then took on the mantle of being the main man, of being Mr. Leeds, of being the midfield enforcer. And as soon as Mr. Bielsa came in, I mean, what can you say about Kalvin Phillips? He just, it was like a duck to water. He also started playing centre-back consistently. And maybe that's what Southgate is thinking as well. If he wants to play the 3, you look at that differential that Kalvin Phillips can give the England side. Not only can he be playing in the standard CM 6 or 8 role, he can play in the DM as well, but he can also play as a centre-back, either left or right side, that we've seen under Bielsa. We know Southgate likes to play 3 at the back sometimes, so imagine if sometimes he varies it up. Why does it have to be so stagnant for England? Why does it have to be so rigid? That's what I like about Southgate, taking every other opinion of his football career, of his previous managerial career out. I love the fact that he trusts youth. There was talk of him even putting Kalvin in, even if Leeds had stayed in the Championship, and he'd have stayed in the Championship. He trusts youth. He wants to see, obviously, people build and build and build. And I just feel that with Kalvin, you're not just getting a standardised defensive midfielder. You are getting the full picture. You're getting someone who is positionally aware, can play A, B, C, or even D. He's physically combative. He's excellent in the press. Defensively, he's good. Going forward, he's good. He can spray a ball 50 yards, 40 yards. He's got a cracking strike on him. He can score a free kick, as we saw there with Forest. And this season at Blackburn, he has everything to his game, and he's only 24 years old. Physically, he's a monster, absolute monster, just a triangle, shoulders, and all just sort of back. And he's just ready-made for going to the very, very top. And for any opposition fans who are here looking at Kalvin Phillips and thinking, how's he got into the England squad? You'll see. you will genuinely see him. Please stop comparing him to Jack Grealish. I understand why people do in terms of why is he in and he isn't, but it should be probably Phillips and Jack Grealish, and then there wouldn't be any, but they're two completely different players. If you remember at Ellen Road last year, Grealish couldn't get past him. Moving on. But yeah, he changed everything for me, Bielsa. He changed absolutely everything. I've just seen Jay Coyle as well. Wow, Rodrigo is actually happening. This shows how close our cards are to our chest. Phil Hay has just literally said he thought it was an unlikely move. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are saying, mate, with regards to the signing of Rodrigo. Obviously, I'll get onto that at the end, guys. But yeah, Bielsa changed absolutely everything with regards to Kalvin. Obviously, he was also enabling him to play in different formations, the 3-3-1-3. Leeds also deployed the 3-4-1-2. We've also played 4-1-4-1, where he's thrived in that defensive midfield role. But no one can get past him. I think I've seen Eze and Ajaria who've had good games against him. But on the whole, on a 50 game altogether season, including cup competitions, there's not been any player for me who's absolutely had Kalvin in stitches. It's just it never happens. Which I think is all credit to Marcelo Bielsa. Obviously, last season, he got his 100th cap as well, which was something I was absolutely delighted for. Bielsa came in, and I think within about a month, Kalvin had got his 100th cap for Leeds, which just shows the progress he'd done on and off the pitch. But off the pitch, majorly, he'd been there. He's only still a kid, 22 years of age, and 100 caps before Bielsa even came in, or just into Bielsa's reign at Leeds United. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. And then he got into the team of the season as well last year, as you can see there. Manager Wilder, Randolph Aarons, Reece James, Liam Cooper, Jamal Lewis, Kalvin Phillips, Norwood, Bowen, Sharp, Pookie, Adams. So he got into it straight away, and you could tell this Bielsa system was absolutely crucial for how Kalvin Phillips could develop as a football player. And then we saw this, didn't we, in the summer months, Villa after him, Villa putting money in for him, apparently, according to good sources. Then Spurs' interest. Kalvin snubbing Tottenham Hotspur, then their interest. Manchester United's interest. We've seen that before as well. Unfortunately, we've seen Alan Smith, one of our sons of the city, going to Manchester United. So anytime they come in for a Leeds United player, with their financial might, they might be able to turn heads, but not our boy Kalvin. He stayed in the Championship, stayed with us another year, and this is what it was at the end. This is what the end result was. In front of all his adoring fans right there, Kalvin cheering, Kalvin talking, Kalvin loving, Kalvin living, everything to do with Leeds. And this is just an image I wanted to end on, really, with Kalvin Phillips and just his complete ability to this game, the first half, like Mesut Ozil, he just couldn't touch him. He couldn't get anywhere near him. And I know we all talk about Ozil, but there's always this hype around Ozil. He just couldn't get near him. The only thing I'd probably say with Kalvin might be something he's got to work on is his tackling in his career, but he's gone from nothing to absolutely everything. And we all absolutely love him here at Leeds. He's turned down big moves to stay at Leeds, to build with the project. I can't remember a player who'd last done that at Leeds. I really can't. A Leeds lad. And he's just a wonderful player, and he's the fabric of Leeds United, and he's such a humble lad. You don't ever see him doing that Ben Rama thing where he's there with his Rolex going like that when he's on holiday. Not with Kalvin. You forget people, you had that West Ham fan who went, "You're not as good as Declan Rice, are you, mate?" Kalvin's just there, just like, "Yeah, all right, mate, enjoy your holiday. Like some guy was filming today, how do you feel getting into the England squad? He just doesn't want it. He doesn't care. He's just such a nice, lovely lad. And that's what you don't get in a lot of Premier League teams. It's all about egos, flashy, dashy lads. Kalvin ain't like that. He ain't like that. He's not like that at all. And I think that's why he's adored by all of us. And well done, mate. Well done. We're so proud of you. And you are the figurehead of Leeds United at this moment in time. And yeah, just absolutely buzzing with everything that he's done, with everything that we are at the minute. And let's talk about this as well. We'll just talk about it a little bit. Obviously, my player profile is on. I've mentioned it numerous times. If you have just joined, hello, welcome. But my player profile's on. Rodrigo are on videos before. But what a signing. What a signing. If we get this done. The journos are stunned. Now, the journos were stunned with JKA, but this guy is the real deal. He is the real deal. He's the mustard. You know what I mean? He's the absolute player that would just fit so well. Apparently, he's Bielsa's #1 target from what I've been told today as well. Bit of ITK for you there. But yeah, absolutely buzzing. Now get Robin Cox sorted as well. It looks like Rodrigo's going to be sorted ASAP. I'll have a video coming out with you with an instant reaction on that. Absolutely buzzing with that. Genuinely, guys, unbelievable. He'd just be such a crazy signing. I can't tell you. It would be just. Please go watch him. Please go watch him. He's a fantastic player. Been at the top level for so long now and just delivers. Spain's #1 striker, delivers. You know what I mean? If he's a postman, he's up at 6 a.m. getting everything delivered by 6:10. You know what I mean? He's just that sort of player, a quality player. Would be an amazing addition to this Leeds side and will be our first real signing, obviously, not with regards to, Jack Harrison, Helder Costa, etc., etc. Our first real signing, and not the kids, obviously. But I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm so happy at this, at what's going on at the minute. And let's get everything. Let's be happy. Let's see what's going to happen in the next couple of days. But hopefully, Robin's going to be very soon as well. Rodrigo over the line. Then it's not a bad start, is it? Kalvin getting into the England lineup, and it's all coming back, isn't it? It's all coming back. So yeah, as Josh says here, statement of intent, and it really, really is. It's a massive statement of intent. Now listen, the competition winner. There's been so many of you have entered. Please, thank you so much for everything. A little bit of a drum roll. The winner is Will Griffiths. Will Griffiths, you are the winner, my friend. I'll be sending you an email with everything. I need to get your email address, where you live, everything like this, what fit you've got, and we'll have that sent through to you in the post. Guys, this is not the end of the competition. Remember, we've got another competition in a week's time, a week or two's time. I'm trying to steady it up, where you can win 700 quid. So we've got that sorted for you. That will be, we'll have a little competition. So the competitions don't end here. So don't be too downhearted by that. But Will Griffiths, you are the competition winner, my friend. Guys, I hope you've all enjoyed this. I hope you've all loved it. It's been a bit different, obviously. I'm a bit mellow today, a bit tired today, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, this Leeds news. But listen, well done, Will, on everything. Well done, mate. I read your stuff, and it was incredible. It was lovely touching stuff, and all of you sent in some really, really nice stuff, and it was great just looking through it. Guys, have an unbelievable rest of your evening, and I will catch you tomorrow bright and early for the Rumour Mill. Make sure you please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you